Welcome to the Masculine Code Podcast. I'm your host, Jim Vance. It's good to see you guys back. And this week, I really want to talk about something near and dear to my heart, something I've been thinking about a lot, after talking to tons and tons of men, thousands of men this year so far in 2026. This is my first episode of 2026. Won't be my last. I know I've kind of dropped the ball, but life's been busy. I've been injured. I've been falling apart at the seams, it seems like. And since October, I've torn this pec, this bicep. I've had piriformis syndrome where I couldn't walk, sciatica, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And at the same time, my oldest daughter is she's graduating this year, so that's pretty cool. But we've been doing a lot with that, and then just living life and building a big-ass business along the way and helping men all around the world. But it's something that I realized that I was doing, and something I realized that needed to be a tone for this podcast is this idea is like the epidemic of just enoughness. And I could see it in myself. Like I had gotten to a point where I was just doing just enough. There's a silent disease epidemic spreading throughout men around the world. And it's not failure. It's not weakness. It's not even like they're losing. It's the idea that they're just doing enough to pay the bills, enough to keep the marriage afloat, enough to stay in shape, kinda, enough to feel like you're not that guy, but you're not the guy. But deep down in that just enoughness, like you're not tapped in fully. You're not fully expressed as yourself. You're not dangerous. You're not undeniable. You're just fine. You're just kind of fucking coasted, going with the flow. And what I want to do on this podcast is acknowledge it. I want to expose it. I want to call it the fuck out. And I want it to fucking stop. Like I had to go through this in myself if I want to be the fucking example that other men follow, if I want to be the example that my wife and kids follow, then I have to stop playing in the middle. And I'm going to speak to you today from a man who lied to himself. I'm a man who will tell you 1,000,000 times over 1,000,000 that I'm working hard, 1,000,000 times over 1,000,000 that I have excuses. But working hard sometimes looks like not going all in. It's doing enough to make it look like everything's okay, to make it look like you're busy, mistaking activity for achievement. Always, John Wooden used to say, don't mistake activity for achievement. You can be busy moving around, but are you busy making a difference? And I think people that do just enoughness, they're busy moving around, but they're not busy making an impact on their life or the people around them. I know I have men come to me saying, I'm a good husband, and I might define that. Well, I provide the money, and I take care of the bills, and I wash dishes and stuff like that. I was like, okay, what are you doing to provide husband love to your wife? Because you're not leading that at that level. She's not upset at your provision. She's upset at your presence, right? You say, I'm building something. I have men come to me all the time. I'm building a side hustle. I'm building my LLC. I'm building my business. But you're moving like it's an option. You're not moving like it's a certainty. Like this is my obsession or my obligation. See, this is the epidemic of just enoughness, where you're almost tickling the desire, but not actually stepping full in. And here's the truth that a lot of you guys hate to hear is like, just enoughness is the slow death. Because once you start to accept mediocrity in one part of your life, mediocrity becomes every part of your life. And that's the most dangerous place to live. Because you're not in enough pain to change anything, and you're not in enough power to be anything different. So you just sit in the middle. You get comfortable. You get tolerant of lackluster effort by yourself. You get acceptant of low-level performance. You get acceptant of half-measured, and you get disconnected from your edge. See, the masculine by nature is the person who lives at the edge of himself. The edge of discovery, the edge of exploration, the edge of expression, the edge of getting after it. And the reason why most men land here, I mean, number one is like you've lost your edge. You stop doing the hard things because hard doesn't feel good all the time. You stop like pushing your body to the limits of what it could be. You started accepting it for what it is. Well, I'm just like every other guy my age. Yeah, fuck every other guy your age. Be the fucking example. Well, that's going to require a lot of effort, and it requires effort to not do anything different. I think that the big thing that I see a lot is like you stop demanding more from yourself. Like a man with high standards, like high beliefs about self, like the demand for more from self is a big thing. And when you lose that, like you lose a lot. You get comfortable as fuck. And in that comfort, you lose yourself. I think another thing that happens, and the reason why people do this is they're in the protection mode. They're in protection of their own identity because they realize, like, if I go all in, there's a risk. I might fail. I might get exposed that I'm not as good as I think I am. There's a risk of you being successful, and then you got to be that motherfucker every day. And that's scary for a lot of men. So you pay it like 65, 70%. Not halfway, but not all the way. Kind of in the middle. Like, I'll give you a C effort. Because then you always have an excuse like, I could have given a little bit more. I didn't actually do everything I needed to do. And you always have an excuse as to why things didn't turn out. When you go all in, you have no more excuses. All you get is lessons then. Here's why it didn't work out. Okay, cool. Learn the lesson, reapply, do it again. And I think another thing that keeps men like in just enoughness is a lot of men have forgot their mission in life. The mission is, what are you doing with the man you're becoming every day? A man without a mission defaults to maintenance, like maintenance energy, where he's just maintaining get along to get along type thing. Wake up, work, eat, scroll, sleep. Wake up, work, eat, scroll, sleep, repeat. Like no fire, no direction, no expansion, just enough to get by, just enough to make sure the bills are paid, just enough to maybe, if I'm lucky, every couple of years take a vacation, just enough to get to retirement. And that fire is going out of your life. You just become this fucking ambiguous motherfucker where you got no fire, no passion, no desire. You're just content. I'm just content. And that kills me. Like that idea of just being content kills me as a man, because that contentness creates like this satisfaction with average, this satisfaction with lack of effort, this satisfaction with being a half measure man. And, being this way comes with a cost. Like the actual cost is who you're being in one area of your life is going to carry through all areas of your life. Because it's not neutral. Like I can't just be average in my health. I can't just be average in my relationship. I can't just be average in my mission. Like everywhere I'm at, like however I do one thing is how I do everything. So if I'm deciding to be average or I'm deciding to be just enough here, I'm going to look for other places to be just enough because it's easy, because I make it comfortable, right? It bleeds into everything, and your wife starts to feel it. Your kids start to see it. The people around you start to notice it. She's not going to say it, but she feels it. Like your lack of presence, your lack of certainty, your lack of confidence, your lack of fucking get up and get after it, your lack of direction. And that's when polarity dies, right? A lot of guys is like, well, it's because of this. No, it's because you don't fucking act like the man you say you were going to be. Your kids start to feel it. And then you're like, why do my kids not respect you? Because you don't respect yourself enough to be the motherfucker that is the thing. Your kids don't become what you say. They become what you demonstrate right now. And right now, you're modeling comfort over courage. You're modeling average over ascension. And when you do that, you're just giving them permission to be average themselves. You're giving them permission to not try hard. You're giving them permission to not be their best. You're giving them the permission to not give effort. Your business starts to feel it, right? Because business responds to energy. Just enough energy creates just enough money, right? Just enough fear creates just enough complacency in expansion. And you feel it. Like this is the most important part. The quiet voice inside of you, the one that was calling you in the beginning, it's always like, there has to be more than this. There has to be more to the life than this. because this ain't it. And that's the truth. And every day you ignore it, you lose respect for yourself because you realize that your soul calling is being denied by your ego fear. And you're consciously choosing your ego over your soul. And then that conscious choice of ego over soul, you lose respect for yourself. So how do you break this shit? Like, this is like super important for me, is like, you don't fix enoughness, you obliterate it. Like, the fixing thing of enoughness, guys, has to go. Like, you have to obliterate the fuck out of it. And the only way to do that, number one, you have to raise the standard immediately. Not next week, not Monday, not when you feel ready. Like, hey, today I got to raise the standard for how I operate and move in my life every day without fail. How I move my body, how I move my mind, how I move my marriage, how I move my money, how I move me as the man. Your life reflects what you tolerate. And if you tolerate just enoughness, your life's going to be kind of just enough. You got to stop tolerating mediocrity from yourself and stop negotiating with the little bitch that lives inside of your head that's constantly saying, well, you're hey, that's enough, man. Like, you did your part. You did your share. It's okay. Like, you could take a break now. You worked 2 hours a day. You can take a break. Hey, man, you worked hard. Now just go sit on your ass the rest of the fucking day. No. Fuck that. Life is short, man. Live all of it. You're not going to get to carry this body, this mind, this heart, this soul to forever. Like, you might as well fucking use all of it you got. Reconnect to your edge daily. You need friction in your life, right? Wherever there's tension, there is ascension. But you got to be willing to go into the friction of life. Lift heavier, move faster, speak more truth, take more risk, put yourself out there. Because a man who doesn't like face the friction of his life decays in fear of his life. Because the friction makes you feel alive. The friction makes you realize, like, I got to level up. I got to show the fuck up. I got to give all of me to this so I can be all that I am called to be in this. I think number 3 is a big one. Like, you have to decide who the fuck you are as a man. Right? Not based on your past, not based on your results, based on the standard of who you want to operate as every day. Your results are because of the habits you've already had. Your past is who you were. Who you decide to be every day moving forward is important. Like, you can have all kinds of standards. I am a man who stands in truth. I am a man who finishes what I say I'm going to do. I'm a man who leads from the front and doesn't follow. I am a man who goes all in. Because all in is where I learned to be all of me. Those are standards. Like, you can't negotiate with that. I'm a man who moves my body every day. My standard for health is I move like I love myself, eat like I love myself, and love myself. That's my standard. Every fucking day. I don't eat like an asshole. I don't sit around like a fucking slouch on the couch. I literally get my ass up and move every day. There's a standard. There's a standard for parenting. Our number one standard for parenting is tell me the truth even if it hurts me. Because then I can have your back and support you in everything you do. Give you leadership, guidance, and direction in your life. With the lies and the hiding, it's not. But see, once you set a standard, you got to live it like it's a law. You can't live it like it's an option. Like, my standards are not options. They're laws. My word is law for me. It's not law for anybody else. I'm not trying to execute law on anybody else. I'm trying to execute law on the man I am, because that's the thing I can control. And if I can control this man, I can control the outcome of my life. But if I'm trying to execute my law on everybody else and control everybody else and who they're being and how they're operating, then I'm not going to actually get to where I want to go. I think number 4, the big thing, the best way to get past this is to eliminate the escape routes. I think a lot of times this idea of what if it doesn't work, or what's my backup plan, or like, what do I need to do to protect myself? It's like, no more backups, like no more half commitments. You got to like burn the boat on the life you want to live and learn the lessons so that you can actually execute the life that you want to live. I think with all these backup plans and these half measured commitments, you literally don't give yourself an opportunity to learn what you need to learn in order to execute the life you want to execute. And in that, you don't give yourself the opportunity to be the man you want to be. You got to get around men too. I think number 5, which is important, and this is where I'm wholeheartedly a part of, is like, You got to get around men who don't tolerate your bullshit. A man who's left isolated by himself will negotiate with the smallest little inner bitch inside of him. A man who surrounds himself with men who don't tolerate their own bullshit won't tolerate your bullshit. And that's the game. Because if you are left alone, you negotiate, you justify, you make excuses, you blame, you shame, you slide. But brotherhood sharpens the blade. Men, like, let iron sharpen iron. Like, I surround myself with men who keep their word to themselves all the time. That way, when I don't keep my word, they're like, what the fuck are we doing, Jim? It's super important. The reality is you don't need to learn more, right? You don't need to, you don't need another podcast. You don't need another TikTok video. You need a decision. Everything that we want out of life starts with a choice to decide. Like, decide right now, are you going to keep playing in the middle, or are you going to become undeniable? Because the life you want is on the other side of that decision. The body, the money, the marriage, the respect. It does not respond to just enough. The life you want responds to all in. And I don't know about you, but I want all in. So the question I have for you to do is, where are you not all in on you? And I mean, be honest. Don't tell me it's some fucking, if you can look in the mirror and you're 75 pounds overweight, you're not all in. If your wife's bitching at you on a daily basis, you're not all in. If your kids don't respect the man you are, you're not all in. If you're making paycheck to paycheck, you're not all in. If you keep putting off your desires and hopes until tomorrow, you're not all in. Where are you not all in? Pick one area and decide, I want to be all in here, and start executing. Whether it be your health, whether it be your marriage, whether it be your mindset, whether it be your relationship with God, whatever it is, make a decision. Because that decision will forever seep through the rest of your life. If you decide to stay mediocre, cool. Do your thing. But if you're ready to go, let's go. Because kings, they don't do just enough. They do what's required. Then they go further, because the price is the price. If I want to be the greatest version of me, then I got to pay the price of the greatest version. That means I have to show the fuck up for the greatest version of me every day. And if you're ready to do that, your life is at your beck and call. My brothers, I hope this hits you in the chest today. It's Tuesday. It's a beautiful day. It's a good day to start the week and ready to get rocking. And if you want to work on this part of yourself, you want to execute on this part of yourself, you don't have guidance, you don't have mentorship, you don't have a fucking know-how, reach out. I'll put my link in the show notes. Shoot me a message. We'll set up a call. Let's talk. Let's get you set up. Let's get you moving in the right direction. Like, this idea of doing it alone doesn't work anymore. This idea that I'll figure it out doesn't work anymore. It's time to decide, get resourceful, and create a plan that moves you forward. And if you're doing it based off the man you've been, you don't have that plan. You need somebody else to help you execute. My brothers, I hope y'all have a good day. And thank y'all for listening.